Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another Wild Whisper design team project. Don't forget to use my code, which I have down below, to save on your next order. Today I'm featuring the World's Best collection, again by Wild Whisper, and I use a couple papers from here, and I also use some sequin mixes and a little bit of cork, so you'll see all the texture that I create at the end here. So I'm starting with this as my background. It's like this tile watercolor feel, and it's light gray color, which is good because my photos take up a lot of the page and they're very yellow. I'm not big on photo editing. It's one of those things I'm really lazy about, but I always combat it with something like this, so I go for the cooler tones to help combat that. So I'm cutting this beautiful key paper from that same collection into 1-inch strips, and those are going to line my photo. And that's a great way to save paper if you just cut it down. Instead of putting a whole like 7 inches behind the photos, you just cut it into 2 strips. It's a good way to save paper. And I'm also going to distress the edges on these. I like the vintage look of the lock-in keys on this paper, but I thought to give it a more worn feel, I would use my Tim Holtz distresser to add a little bit of a rough edge. And I do that on both pieces. And these photos are from a trip my boyfriend and I took to the State House in Maryland. And this is a very important piece of history. If you want to look it up, it's pretty interesting. George Washington's been there. A lot of people have been there. But these are the different hearing rooms. So I think one's the Senate and one's the... I don't remember. I have it all written down. I just hadn't I haven't done the journaling on this page yet, so I don't haven't refreshed my memory on that. But we have the pamphlets and stuff from there, so I'll have to dive into those to write some interesting journaling. But the middle picture is actually is the plaque that they put on the building when they built it, talking about what the building was for. So you can see I have pulled out some mesh. I also inked all of my distressed edges with some distressed ink, and this is the iced spruce, I believe. And it's a beautiful light gray green color. I also pulled out some magic mesh. I know I've used this on a couple of layouts and people are wondering what it is, and to be honest, I don't know what it is. It's just, it sticks automatically. It's mesh. It used to be really big back in the day. I don't know where I bought it. I don't know how. I think I got it at scrapbook yard sales. But I'm not 100% sure where it came from. But I did line that behind my paper strips that I just distressed, and now I'm going to glue those down. And if you guys haven't been on my channel a little while, you might not know that this is a new camera setup for me. I have a horizontal tripod arm now, so it's a direct down shot, which absolutely amazing. And I also have a new camera. I now have a Canon Rebel T6i. Which means it has the flip out screen, so I can see what the heck I'm doing, or what's in the camera shot and what's not. And it's just amazing, and it films beautifully. I have autofocus turned off. I let it focus and then I let it turn it off so it doesn't keep going in and out. So let me know what you guys think. I filmed this video a while back, so this is the first video I actually filmed with my new setup, even though it's going up afterwards. I just like to get my design team projects done early. I also pulled out some of these super old brads. These were given to me in a rack a while ago, I think 2 years ago maybe. So there's hexagon ones and round ones, and they have silver frames around them, around the epoxy portion, but that doesn't really bother me to mix with the gold, so I decided to bring in this gold tag, and it looks very yellow on camera, but I promise it's gold in real life. But I do get a silver and gold theme going on. And if you can't tell, the plate in the middle photo is a bronzy color. So I'm just doing all metallics today. Also, there's me. That's another thing about this shot that I have to get used to, is that I keep cutting into the picture now, where I used to not do that before. And I also have these little round polka dot. These are actually things for cupcakes, the little picks that you put in cupcakes that are like super cute. I pull the little toothpicks out so I can use them on scrapbooking pages. So definitely look in all the aisles of the craft store next time you're there. Definitely lots of things to be found to use in scrapbooking. But that's what I go with. And then I pull out some phrase stickers. I go with these ones from Studio Calico. And once I put those down, I'm going to put the cluster in the top left corner. I will trim those off. I see that they're sticking out, but I'm going to trim them off. And I'm actually going to use that gold little bit that I've left over with a punch, I pull out my 1-inch circle punch from EK Tools, and just to bring that gold in a second time. It does match the photo pretty well for that bronzy gold tone. So I'm not worried about having the gold and silver mix. It doesn't bother me too much if they do mix. And back to some of these Studio Calico tiny words. I think it says document, explore. It was just a really cool place to be. I believe this is where George Washington gave his resignation address, farewell address. They had a copy of it there in one of the cases. There's just a lot of really old stuff there. It was just a really cool experience. I do pull out some of the Wild Whisper stamp sets and a couple other things. I thought I might fussy cut out some of these locks and keys, but I ended up not doing that. I pull out the No Place Like Home stamp set, and there's a little triangular pattern there that I wanted to stamp, and I used the same ice spruce color to get that same look and just stamp that right there. And since it's a distress ink, it didn't come out beautifully, but it works. Now I'm just looking at some of the cork pieces I have. These are from Spiegelmom Scraps, which you can also find some cork pieces in the Wild Whisper store, but I'll have all the products linked from Wild Whisper down below that are still there. And I just stapled those on. I find that cork only goes on with staples or liquid glue, and the liquid glue also kind of oozes through the cork because it's a porous surface, so you just need to be careful of that. Now I'm just putting my brads in. These are a really easy way to add a lot of dimension. And I really like how brads add that metallic feel as well. So I have the staples, the brads, and then the tag even has an eyelet through it, which helps add that metallic feel. And then the photo itself is something metallic, so it works out. So now I'm going to put down the title. I'm using these basic gray alphabets, and they're supposed to be black, but they're off gray. And I talked about this in another video over on Spiegelmom Scraps, where it's hard to use them because they're actually a dark gray instead of a black, but you want them to be black, but they're not. So I use them on this page for my title, which says This Is History, and I thought that was a good title. And I also needed a small title because I was running out of space, so this was an easy way to amend that. And I love this size alphabet sticker. I wish more people did more of these. I just like the smaller size a lot. So that's almost it for this layout. I'm going to do some beautiful sequin mix. I'm using this one from Wild Whisper. I'm also going to use one other one. So I think it's Sweater Weather and Adventure maybe. But that's pretty much it for this layout. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely check out the Wild Whisper blog to see all of the rest of the design team layouts. And be sure to check out their new collection from this month called Lake Life. Definitely one you'll want to pick up. And use my code down below if you'd like to save on your order. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!